Today we're going to cover the Enavate Cloud, powered by Azure. What does it look like to take your existing GP environment and uplift it into Azure so you have better security and some of the other top 3 benefits that Bill will cover?
We do want to talk about these 3 benefits, and I'm going to focus on the first one, which is a lower total cost of ownership. A couple of things to think about here. When you buy hardware for your on-premise deployment, you need to buy for peak demands. Some organizations are pretty steady, but many of our clients tell us they have peak demands. It might be month end, it might be a seasonal thing, and you have to buy hardware and software to support those peak demands. With the cloud services, you can expand and contract as your business requires it. So much less expensive way. Secondly, maintaining that hardware is extremely expensive. It's time consuming, and quite honestly, it is rarely done well. Most of you have a business to run, and IT becomes secondary. I can tell you that the vast majority of security breaches today come from, actually not just today, it's been this way for a long time, it's not changing, but they come from the result of non-patched or non-updated systems. And your infrastructure needs constant care and feeding. That's very time consuming, and it really interferes with your core business. There's some industry pundits like Gartner have calculated the average cost of maintaining a server is somewhere around $1,500 per month. We've seen estimates everywhere from $1,200 to $2,000 per month. But this takes into account everything, right? So power, space to house those servers, HVAC, you got to keep that room cool, maintenance of those servers, support of the servers. We talked about patching and updates. They're never done, or rarely done in a timely manner. You also have to have a separate site for disaster recovery or to ensure business continuity. That's expensive. I can tell you that if you look at that $1,500 number, the average Enavate server in the Enavate Cloud is about half that much, or about $700. And that takes into account all those things I just mentioned. We also have a number here I found very interesting. It was one of the big consulting firms, and I forgot who it was now, but they talked about the cost of downtime. And they said in the small and medium business, typically anybody from 2 employees to 1,000 employees and small revenues up to $500 million a year in revenues, they said that an average downtime is as high as $427 per minute. You may agree or disagree with that number, but whatever it is, if you're in a business that requires and relies upon your IT systems, downtime is very expensive. And in the cloud, in the Enavate Cloud, we pretty much eliminate, I won't say 100% eliminate, but we do give you a 99.95% guaranteed uptime, which is less than 23 minutes and some seconds per month. So very reliable and highly available cloud environment. And then finally, Microsoft has made it very advantageous for you to move into the Enavate Cloud powered by Microsoft Azure by providing extended support for both Windows Server 2012 R2, and SQL Server 2012. So most of the people on this webinar today are running Microsoft Dynamics GP or any of the Microsoft Dynamics products. Actually, all the work is done in the database or in the SQL Server. So if you're running an old version, you get 3 years of additional extended support by running it in the Enavate Cloud, which is powered by Azure. Same thing with Windows Server Operating System 2012, 3 years of extended support. There's just a quick picture of the SQL Server options, and I do want to take a minute just to explain it, right? So if you go down to the very bottom, you stay on premise, you can purchase extended security updates. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what they are, but it's not cheap. And what that does is it gives you security updates for the next 3 years. If you put it in Azure, in the Enavate Cloud, you get that for free. You can also upgrade your on-premise environment to a newer version of SQL Server, so SQL Server 2019 or 2022, and Windows Server 2022 or 2019. That's another step. It takes some effort, and there's some cost involved. You can do it. And then the last step, of course, is moving to what we recommend, infrastructure as a service, and you can use the Azure SQL virtual machine, or you can do it in an Azure purely SQL managed instance. Same thing holds true, by the way, for Windows Server 2012.